Hey everybody, Pedialyte with Karen this morning. Click. So normally it's coffee with Karen, but I'm recovering from the stomach flu, so it's Pedialyte with Karen. I thought that would be funny. Anyways, I'm going to do 3 short videos today, just because I was inspired. I was working on my crystals organization, and if you've been watching other videos, you'll know that was going one way, and now I'm going to tell you how I'm going another way to give you different ideas of how I think it can be done. Now you can share your ideas in the comments, absolutely, because that will help. Everybody's going to have different ways of wanting to do this. And so that's why I'm sharing mine. So basically what I was originally doing was I was going to create this bin full of these packets with, I was using an oracle deck that had each of the crystals and separating them basically so that, of course, you get a lot of agates when you buy in bulk. And then this one, so I was trying to identify each stone and put them, I was trying to organize them basically. So as a J in the Myers-Briggs, my preference is to have things organized. However, I'm also a big picture person, an N in the Myers-Briggs, which is intuitive. And so what happens to me if I try to get too organized and I can't get it quite how I think it would be helpful, then I give up. Then I'm like, I'm not going to do this, right? So it started feeling a little too specific for me. And it started not feeling, I started losing the joy of using crystals. So this is what I'm doing instead. And you guys can let me know. And I know like people who are like really into crystals and the healing powers of crystals and all that are going to struggle with this. So, just take a deep breath. It's okay for people to do things differently. And that's really one of the things I want to continue to impress on my channel is that our spiritual journeys, our spiritual growth, how we use divination tools or how we use healing tools is very specific to each person. And when we're trying to do it the way someone told us to, and it doesn't feel right, like there's a block for you, like I was trying to organize this in a way that I thought would be really functional. But when it started getting less functional for me, I started losing interest in it. When that happens to you, then that's your intuition. And I believe it's your intuition, your spirit team saying, this isn't the right way to do this for you. Okay. And I want to make sure on this channel that that's what we're always exploring is there's just not one way to look at anything. It's what feels good to you. Okay. So if you've always wanted to use crystals, but it got overwhelming because you had these gazillion cards, like all these cards when I bought the crystals, all these cards, and trying to keep them organized so that you knew what each crystal was. And I did get the rock identifier app, which I love actually. I still will love it because when I'm outside, it'll be fun to do it. But what I found with doing the rock identifier app is some of the cards that I had bought the crystals from the store weren't matching with the rock identifier app. And then my J got in the way and it was like my organization, like, well, now I don't even know if this is the real, like which one is real. So for me, I decided that I am scrapping the organization of crystals and I am going to use them whatever calls to me. Okay. So I think I'm going to show you down here. So I bought this lotus. I think this is a lotus flower, which is amazing because apparently Kamala Harris's name means lotus. I've had people say that. White lotus, I think. So what I did is I took all the stones out. So these are all the stones that I have right now. Over here, there's a little bit more. Okay. So these are all the stones that I have right now and a few more in these bags. Okay. A few more in the bags. So I'm taking them all out of the bags and once a week or once a month, I'm not even going to be scheduled. I'm going to look through the stones that I have, and I'm going to put them in my tray, whatever calls to me. And I'm going to trust that these are the stones that I need exposed in our household that month or that week or whatever, okay? And when I go to the store, I am going to trust that whatever stone I buy, I'm going to stop reading these. I'm going to just stop reading them. I'm just going to buy the stones that call to me. Which is actually what I've done anyways, but of course I will always buy shiny stones. That's just the way I do it. So, because I like shiny stuff. Or I like, I love that. But you know what? For me, I don't need to know what they are. I just really don't. Now, even if I'm going to, eventually if I decide I want to do like a crystal grid, then at that point I'll pull out the rock identifier and just see, well, what do I have? Or go to the store specifically for that crystal grid. And if you're not sure what a crystal grid is, it's basically, you can set up a grid, like a shape with stone. So it might be, let's just say a cross. So you could set up stones in the shape of a cross. And those stones might be very specific to what you're working on, okay? And some of the crystal books have, I'll link some of the crystal books that I have right here, but some of the crystal books have those crystal grids, basically. So I think if I'm going to do a crystal grid, I might decide in my book, like, okay, I really want to work on, like, this is something I need help with, or want, I just want to have the energy and the power of the crystals in this grid this way, that I'll go to my store and specifically get those, and then maybe in a baggie put that specific crystal grid, stones together is probably what I'm going to do. But in the meantime, I am just going to enjoy the beauty of the stones however they call to me, because it was starting to feel like, I started feeling like, you know what, I'm never going to use these. I'm never going to use them. It was getting way too, I was trying to get it totally organized, which is natural for my personality type, for the one part of my personality type, but the big picture part of my personality type, it was not feeding my intuition at all. So if you are a sensor in the Myers-Briggs, which it's the second letter, and this organizing them in specific ways so that you know exactly which stones are which, you're going to appreciate that. Sensors are going to have much easier time. However, if you're a sensor and a perceiver in the Myers-Briggs, so S and P is the last letter, P or J. If you're a sensor and a P, you might not ever get around to organizing it. So you have to, that's why it's really interesting, because I will have people coming on and leaving comments, which is totally fine, because they've been taught that there are certain ways to view the world. And I have always pushed back on that. I'm realizing it has been a part of my character my entire life to not think that you have to view the world in any specific way. And I can see myself bringing those conversations to this channel, or that I butt up against people who say, not their personality, not their person, but I butt up against the idea of things have to be a certain way. You know what I mean? And so I just want folks who are struggling, or folks who, get confused by the different spiritual messages that are out there, because there's a lot, one channeled person says this, another channeled person says that, and then it's like, well, what is it? It's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters, now this is my opinion, what matters is what feels good to you. And if hearing both of those messages felt good to you, regardless if there was conflicting information, then that's your ego that needs the information. That's not your spirit. Your spirit, if you hearing that information while you or playing with crystals the way I'm doing it, if that's what lifts your spirit, if that's what raises your vibration, then that's the way you would want to pursue it. Okay. If keeping it really organized and you know exactly what crystals are what, if that lifts your spirit, then that's the way you should do it. Okay. So anyways, I just wanted to come on and share my Pedialyte with you today. Click. I am feeling better. It's just, I need like another day. I'm feeling quite tired still. So, yeah. So let me know about what you think about my new approach. Is it freaking you out? All I know is it feels really good to me. The more I poured them out of the bags and onto the table and I could see them collectively and I could appreciate them, the better it felt to me. The more I just got these kind of out here and then I could put them, you know. And so I might just have this bin filled with crystals, you know, which I know some people are going to be like, don't let those touch each other or whatever. No, I can't. I'm not, I will never use them and I want to just appreciate them. So again, just another way of looking at things. And I hope that works for some of you, just another idea. And, you know, you can apply this to really any part of your life, you know, whatever this conversation, like it might make you think of something else in your life that maybe you've been trying to be so structured about or controlling it a certain way that you haven't been able to appreciate it or enjoy it. Maybe that's even playing with your kids, your grandkids. You know, you needed it to be a certain way and so you didn't enjoy it, and just letting it go with the flow. I think we're learning right now, especially with all the chaos in the world, that the more we go with the flow, actually, I think we're being forced to go with the flow right now. And that means your flow. That doesn't mean you go with my flow, or it doesn't mean you go with somebody else's flow. It goes with your flow. Okay. So I really think that we're being challenged to do that more and more. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'm going to shoot a couple more short videos of things I have thoughts on. So, all right. Have a good day. Bye-bye.